everything's connected. At least it looks like it is. And I need to make sure that I actually get my recording stuff set up. Alright. I think we're good to go. Everything's muted and should be set up. So, hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is July 22nd, and this is the July 22nd TextQuest Devstream. So it's Saturday, which means we're going to be back into our regular, I guess semi-regular. I'm sorry, I can't talk today apparently. We're going to be going back to custom content creation on Saturdays. So that means that we're just going to be continuing where we left off. I believe actually the last time we did this was a little over a month ago. Man, Saturday dev streams kind of took take a dive around convention time, which makes sense, I guess. In any case, so to give you a little refresher on where we are currently with the custom content stuff. Last time we left off, we had basically started being able to actually play the game and navigate between different rooms. Now, that doesn't mean that we have everything perfectly functional. I still don't have end rooms, like rooms that you enter and then that's a flag to end the game. Let's go here to extras. We'll go to author mode. We'll go to create, Zork, and map. And then this is still a problem. For some reason, when we spawn in a map or we load one in, the placement for these arrows seems off. I think they're correct when we're actually making new nodes, but for some reason when they're loaded in, they're incorrect. So if we were to playtest this, we can hit play. So we start, we see the room description, or we see the room name, then the room description. Because it's the first time we've entered this room, it's going to give us the description. So I believe we can go north. So if we go north, we'll go to room 2. Shows us, the background for the second room. Again, first time entering the room, so it tells us the room name in addition to the room description. And is it still north? Yeah, okay. So if we go north again, I know that they're both north of each other somehow. Then we go back to the first room, and that means that it's just going to read us the room name. It's not going to read us the description. And that's about as far as we got for custom text-based adventure games. So we do have, so we can quit, and then it'll say, are you sure you want to do that? Oh, that's interesting, I guess. I'm actually kind of curious. So if I hit north again, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if that means that it's busted. That's actually a good question. All right. If I type yes. Oh, okay. So that's an oversight. Apparently, once it starts to quit, it's not going to actually let you not quit, I guess. So in theory, I bet if, let's go to room 2. Let's change this to south. Close, and then we'll test again. All right, so we're going to get the starting room. So we can go north, and then we can go south to the starting room. And then I believe we also have, so if you go the wrong direction, it's going to tell you can't go that way. So we're going to go back north, and then I'm going to quit. So I'm going to say, I guess quit has to be typed. I'm going to say no. So nothing happens. But if I hit south, can I go? Interesting. So it's probably just completely overriding it. So yeah, it's kind of busted once we start to quit. So that's a thing to fix. Oh yeah, and then once it closes, it also takes away the mouse cursor, which is kind of a weird thing. I think it'll be fixed, if we hit quit there, and then it's gone again. So we have some minor usability issues to fix today. And then we're going to try, I think we're going to try to get an actual end room set up. So similar to, it's a little hard to see because I don't have my actual, hold on, let me see if I can hover over something. Okay, there we go. Now if I close this, there we go. So the starting room is highlighted in green here. You can see it has a green background that's meant to signify that it is a special room, unlike regular rooms which just have a black background. We'll probably want something similar for an ending room where it'll be red, I guess. It seems like green means go, red means stop is a good way to do things. I probably do need to actually add options to customize these controls, which I think, well, We might actually look into that. So I think we're going to fix our usability issues here. So getting rid of the cursor, the quitting issue, and then I think we're going to actually set up our options menu next before we set up our end rooms. Just because I would like to, part of the things that I want to do with this custom adventure tool is allow you to specify your own colors so you can have your own workflow. That way, if you're colorblind, I know that green and red are really bad colors for colorblind people, so I'd like to allow people to be able to customize those colors, especially because these colors don't mean anything. They are only for your convenience when you're making this stuff. No one outside of you is going to see these, so having your own workflow and work colors is something that's, I think, very important, just because it makes things easier for people. So let's go ahead and stop playing. We're going to pop over to our classic create view, and let's go to, let's see, we have an event button for our map button, and then there should be an on map clicked, I'm guessing. Play clicked, here we go. So I'm going to actually do this. So I'm going to close this view. So what was happening there is we were opening the custom game map view, which is what all those nodes were. But then we were closing this view after that. And when a text quest view, which I believe this is, oh no, it's just a game view. Wait, really? Okay. Let's go to close here then. Okay. Well, either way, so this is doing something similar. I guess that's true. It wouldn't be a text quest view because it doesn't have an input field. So the problem was I was hiding the UI cursor whenever I closed this menu, and since I was closing this menu after opening the next one, it was basically just making the cursor go away. So just that one change should fix that issue. Let's see, what other custom game views do we need to adjust that on? Well, once it compiles, I'll be able to actually tell. I also really should rename these. Instead of calling them classic mode, I should call them author mode or something. Just because it's a little, or custom game view or something, which I guess I started doing, but I need to rename some of these stuff. Let's see. So we want place select, create select, classic create. I think we want, is there a play? Classic mode main view. Like it should be an input, I thought, because I've got custom game input. I don't see it. Well, that's kind of weird. Well, all right then. So let's go ahead and say custom. Actually, you know what? I bet if I type input, it'll be fine. Input. There we go. View input. Custom game input. There we go. Let's go ahead and open that up. I assume we're going to do something similar here. Let's see, so on submit, receive input, current selection check input. It is always enjoyable coming back to code that I haven't looked at in a month. I gotta remember how to do everything. Let's see, filter, color, background, sprite, all that fun stuff. Alright, so I think parser should have, let's see, dictionary command checks, I believe is what I want to do. So let me go ahead and do commands, custom game commands, come over here. Huh, really? Doesn't have an inspector? That seems odd. Is it not doing anything? I don't believe you. Oh, it's because it's, right, it's all in code, so that would be why it's not doing anything. Man, I probably should expose that just so I can see everything. I wonder how I could do that. I would need a custom inspector just to visualize stuff that's not actually in the class itself, but it's in the code, which is weird. Let's see here. So we need to go to quit, I believe. Quit, here we are. Attempt quit custom game, go to definition. Current state. Okay. Let me peek this. Do I have a current state that's being used somewhere? Find all references. So we need to basically, when we say no to quitting, we need to set the custom game state's current state to be no longer quitting. I'm guessing the problem is that I wasn't doing that before. So let's see here. Equals quitting. Switch current state. Here we are. So go to definition. Oh, well, right there. Yeah, so I just, for some reason, did not have a check there. So else if input, if I could spell input, dot to lower. You know what? I'm just going to do this because otherwise I'm doing a lot of string conversions here. So we're going to say input is equal to input dot to lower. All right. That way I don't have to constantly keep converting it to be lower. I just say input. So if input is equal to a lowercase n, or input is equal to no. And for now, this is probably what I'm going to do to handle yes and no comparisons. But I probably should have sort of an array that I generate once, and that just has a bunch of yes and no variations. So things like yes, why, yeah, yep, yep, all that stuff. And then, same thing for no, no, and nah, nada, whatever. That way you can type pretty much anything that means yes or no, and then it'll actually interpret that as yes or no. But that's not really a main thing, although I will have a comment for that, just so I don't forget. Have a yes, no array comparison to determine. That's fine. Right there. Mostly that way I just don't have to have this like a massive if statement here. So if input is equal to no or n, we are going to actually say current state is equal to custom game state dot plain. I want to say. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and let that load. And if it is yes, we're going to go to definition here. Okay. Huh, that's interesting. So even though oh, you know what? I bet that's it. Okay. Let's go to custom game. Custom game map view? Is that what I called it? Yeah, custom game map view. I bet the problem is that in open here, I'm not setting the UI cursor to be visible. And if I'm not doing that, that means that when we close the input menu, it's going to say, okay, turn off the UI cursor. But when we open the map menu, it's not going to say that. So, okay. Found the problem, I think. Because it's not a, yep, there we go. So we're going to say, I guess, let me make sure that this is being done in, yeah, it's in the game view. Okay. Oh, nope, I guess right there. UI show cursor is being called there. Okay. Does it not close it then? No, I would think so. Well, either way, we are also going to do something else over here in custom game input view. I did notice that when we open, it's not. How do I phrase it? When you open the custom game input view, if it had already been opened, it's going to show the background that it previously had before it transitions to whatever it should be at the start. So what probably should happen is on open, I should actually set the background to be completely black. That way we can fade in. We don't have to worry about it fading from a sprite that already exists, then going to another sprite. So I'm going to go ahead and say override open. Actually, go ahead and say override. There we go. Which this should just call base.open. Okay, so never mind. Yeah, so this is what I want to do. So we're going to say if not is open. Let's do some stuff here. And then we're going to say let's see, update filter color, coroutine. So I'm basically going to do this update filter color coroutine, but I'm not going to call the coroutine. I'm just going to do an inline code block because I don't actually need it to fade over time. I want it to just, when it's opened, hard cut to black. That way I know that it's not going to be partially visible for a frame. So let's see here. Filter image color is going to just be equal to color. I guess this does give us a little bit of a problem in that I don't actually know what the original filter color is going to be. I can assume black, and that's probably fine. But I get the feeling that later on I'm probably going to want to try to somehow grab the starting node's color and do that. So we're just going to say is going to be equal to color.black. That's probably fine. Filter image is never set or disabled, correct? Yeah, okay, so it's always just got a color. So I think this will actually do what I want. Okay, come up here, save that out. All right, let's give all that a try. See what happens. Let that compile, because apparently it's taking forever. All right. Let's go ahead and play. And that should have addressed the couple of usability problems that we ran into, at least I'm hoping it will. I guess it might not address the weirdness with the map cursor being hidden, but we'll see if we can get around that. Let's go to extras, author mode, create. We still got to get around that problem too. So if you notice, when we come into this menu, this game select menu, there's a little bit of a lag spike. I guess it's hard for you to notice that because you're not moving the mouse. And that's it reading in all of the text, because there is a lot of text that it has to parse in. And I wonder if I could just break that out into something a little bit less meaty. Because it's loading basically the entirety of the game information on the screen per game. So I have two different massive files that it's parsing in. And that could potentially get nasty. So we might end up going back to that at some point and trying to figure out a better way to do that. But in any case, let's go ahead and select that. And we had another bit of lag when we come into this menu, because it has to, again, parse everything, which is not super great. But it's the last time that it has that lag spike. So if we go up to the map, we have all of that. All right, so let's try playing. Okay, we get our fade. That's good. All right, so now we're going to say go north. Okay, and we're going to go south. Then we're going to quit. I don't want to quit. Okay, and then I'm going to say north again. All right. So, interesting. I probably should output text when you hit no. So just so that we don't get this awkward N floating around somewhere. I don't like having standalone single line inputs like this. It makes it feel weird. Like something was supposed to happen, but there was an error. So I just need some kind of message that says like cancel and quit or something. All right, let's go ahead and go. Let's do quit. I want to hit south. Okay, so good. That doesn't work. And then now we can hit south. Good. And this time I'm just going to quit. Yes. All right. Yay. It did not get rid of the cursor. Cool. So let's quit. Let's go back to the map. Hooray. So all that stuff worked. So the next thing we're going to do then is make this option button actually do something. I probably should also change the hover effect on these things. So you might not notice that there's a slight hover effect because it's targeting the borders of the buttons, which is far less prominent than the backgrounds. So I should probably change the backgrounds to be the thing that hovers, similar to what these are doing. Although I guess the regular room node doesn't do that. But you can see that the starting room, its background fades when I hover over it. That makes it way more obvious that it's actually reacting to you hovering, as opposed to these, which don't do that. They do the borders. In any case, let's go ahead and do I actually? I don't think I even have an options menu right now. So let's see. I have the custom game map view pulled up. So let's go ahead and stop this. And we're going to come up here to options button. Find all references, come down here, go to on options clicked. Yep, okay, so we don't have an options. That means we get to create one. Hooray! Let's see here. Oh, and before I forget, let's go to, so in custom game, find all references. Come up here. All right. Now the trick here is we need to change something real quick. Receive input. This is still in custom game session. Okay, I think I can just say parser.output result and it should be fine. Parser.output result. And then a message. So we'll say canceling quit. Cool. So we'll test that. And let me see if I have a options view. Because I don't know that I don't. It's entirely possible that I started working on one. I'm pretty sure that I don't have one that's really the type that I want. Options view. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't look like I do. Well, that's fine. So let's see here. Scripts. Here we are. Content creation. So we're going to go to create folder. I probably should just start organizing these in subfolders. So let's go ahead and say options, create, C# script, custom game options view. I feel like I should just shorten custom game to CG and then underscore. I feel like that would help condense some of these titles, because I really don't like having super long script names. I feel like it makes it harder to code and harder to read. All right, let's reload all. Now, the custom game options view is kind of going to be weird. I guess it's not going to be that weird. It's going to be similar to what our room view is, how it's partially, like it's not a full screen menu. It's just like a panel in the center, basically. So if we drag the room, let's go to view custom room. Let's drag that in here under the UI, which I guess already has one. So let's go ahead and revert that. Let's open this up. So, oh, that's interesting. We got a index out of range exception. Oh, it's Text Mesh Pro. Weird. I'm guessing that's because of all the labels that are somehow, for some reason, missing. In any case, so you can see that this has some border padding so that it doesn't feel like you're getting pulled out of the map view. You're wanting, or that you're looking at this just over it. So I'm probably going to do the same thing with the options. So we'll disable this. Let's go ahead and new. So we're going to do panel. We're going to have this stretch. We're going to call this root. We will also have this stretch, and then we will call this view dash custom game options. All right. Now on the root, I'm going to add an image. That's what's going to give us our background. Just copy this component and paste its values here. So paste component values. We'll actually probably end up copying a lot of the stuff from custom room here. So we're going to copy component. Paste component is new. All right, and then we're also going to offset everything probably by the same amount. So let's go ahead and just grab this rect transform, copy this, and paste. All right. Now, for background stuff, let's see, filter image. No, it's fine. All right, so I'm just going to have another background here. Let's duplicate this, drag it under, if I can get it. It's going to be 5555 with a solid black background. All right, just call this background. So this gives me a nice panel look. I like to have the white border just to indicate, the actual border of the window. Excuse me, had to sneeze. Um, just because it gives so the border gives a clear indication of where the menu ends and where it starts. Um, so once we have this, we're going to go ahead and start adding some sub-objects. So we're going to have this be our title. Let's go ahead and have its Y set to that. I'm going to call this title. All right, and that's going to have an image. Let's paste a component. Oh, which I guess is the wrong thing there. Let's grab this. Or do I want this one? I probably want this one. So when you're making menus, you got to be very careful that you use sprites in the correct way. So let's set this to be white and solid. The default sprite that Unity uses when you just make an image is just a internal square, basically. But the problem is that it's not atlased. So if I were to use that sprite instead of the solid square that I've made myself, then I would actually get an extra draw call in my UI elements. So it's important that when you're making UI in Unity that you one, have preferably a single atlas that you use for your menu. That way your menu draw calls go down to their lowest possible. And two, make sure that above all else you use your own sprites as opposed to Unity's, because Unity's don't atlas and therefore they cause massive overdraw. Let's go ahead and straighten this out. Set its height to be 5 and set its pivot to be 0. No, we want its pivot to be 1. And then we can do this. All right. We're going to have 5 offset from the left and right, or more like 25, I guess. All right. I like to have this divide line between my title and whatever is below it. So let's go ahead and we're going to say, let's say divide. We're going to add a title. Although I guess what I'll probably do is come up here, room info. Let's go ahead and get rid of this root for now so I can see everything. Room name. These aren't all set to be empty, right? Huh. I wonder why it's partially hidden. Well, that's probably not great. That always makes me nervous whenever Text Mesh Pro freaks out. So that probably means I'm going to make my own thing here. I was hoping I can just copy it, but I can't. So let's go to UI, Text Mesh Pro text. All right, we're going to drag it above here. We're going to make it our 8-bit font. We want 8-bit font material. That's correct. And then we're going to have it stretch. Let's say, I guess the entire way is fine. We're going to have it be in the center. All right. And then we'll call this options. Cool. So I don't really need anything else in the title. Let's go ahead and add another subsection. This is going to be our, I guess, content. It's going to be stretched, and then we're going to go from the top. Would 75 work? No. Oh, although I could probably shrink the title down to 80, maybe 75. All right. So let's go ahead and bump content down to 80 from the top, and I guess we're going to do 80 from the bottom, might as well. What I'm thinking for this layout is we have the title up here, obviously, to let you know what menu you're looking at. Then we're going to have different options here in the center, and then at the very bottom we're going to have save and cancel buttons. So let's go ahead and have it be offset 80 from the bottom as well. And then before we actually start populating that, let's go ahead and set up our bottom sections. So 0 pivot Y down to here, height of 75. All right. Let's go ahead and call these buttons, I guess. Don't know what else to call it. Let's make it a horizontal layout group. Give it 5 spacing. Padding from the left and right. Probably 10. I think that's going to be right. Oh, yeah, and I am going to steal. Oh, that's interesting. I have a, okay, whatever. I'm going to steal this button. Come down here, paste it in, paste, and we're going to duplicate. All right. Or actually, you know what? I bet I could paste this in here and do that. Ah! All right, let's have it control width and height. From the bottom, we're going to need padding, probably about 10. There we go. And we probably could increase the padding a little bit just to give it a little bit more give. I don't like to have sort of negative space this small. I prefer to have larger negative space. If objects are too close together in UI, it kind of causes your eyes to drift. It makes it harder to identify individual elements. So when they're this close, I get a little nervous. I might end up bumping that up, I think. Let's do 15. Yeah, 15 looks good. There we go. And we'll do 10 for the separation. Yeah, that looks better. So let's go ahead and rename these, then change them. So this is going to be, instead of close button, it's going to be called save button. And then this is going to be called cancel button. Let's single out its scale. And then let's go to our background and text. So this is going to be save, and this is going to be cancel. All right. Probably going to take a page from the save buttons book. So it's going to be black by default instead of red. I only like to make buttons red when it's very important that you know that it could be dangerous to click on it. So hitting cancel will not break everything, but of course having it highlight red will be fine for it. We don't need to worry about that. Highlights are fine, but base color is also very important. All right, let's go ahead and call this, I don't know why these aren't already called labels. I hate the term text for labels. I don't know why. I just always prefer to call them labels rather than text. In any case, okay, so we're going to come up here. Have I started coding it yet? I have not. Okay. I probably can drag it on, though. So let's go ahead and come up here. All right, so now we're at a point where we can start populating the content. So let's just say content. All right, let's. Do I want to make this a scroll bar? Potentially. I guess let me think. What do I need to have? What do I need to expose to options? Start and end color for nodes. Default map background color, I guess. Default node color. Default arrow color, maybe. So I guess a bunch of defaults. Is there anything in the base room that I would really want to do? No? Okay, so that should be fine. So at least 4 right now, 4 different options. So let's go ahead and we're going to say... So I'm going to come down here, and I will make it a grid for now. So it's going to be a separate subobject. So for now, it's going to be an actual vertical layout group. In the future, we might change it to a vertical layout group with a scroll rect if I get to that many parameters, but I'm not too concerned with that right now. So, all right, let's go ahead and make a child object. We're going to add a layout element to it. It's going to have a min height of, I'm going to say 50 should probably be fine. And we'll have this control width and height, but oh, I guess we don't want it to control height. That's, I would have thought that min height would actually override that, but I guess it didn't. That's okay. Not super great. Okay. Oh, there's totally a way. There we go. Child force expand. Had to be unchecked. I still don't quite understand the child control size and child force expand stuff, because if child force expand width and height are checked, it won't actually expand them until you click child controls size, width, and height. It's kind of weird like that. All right. In any case, let's go ahead and we're going to create a new UI text pro text. Again, make it our 8-bit font. We will have it stretched, but its anchors for the max X are going to be 0.25. That way it only goes about a quarter down. We'll have it be flush against the right, and of course be centered vertically. And this first one is going to be, I guess, start node color. All right. Let's go ahead and have it stretch actually to 0.5. Actually, no, 0.4. Wow. Let's shrink its text size to 24. Too small. Dang it. Okay. 32 then? That's better. All right. You know what? We can probably actually move this up to 0.5 and have it be fine. Yeah, it's fine. All right. Let's go ahead and actually, before I forget, let's do 10 padding from the top and bottom, so that we get some nice separation there. Call this label. And then we're going to make a button. So UI button. We are going to get rid of the text here, and we'll go ahead and make this a solid square. All right. Oh, geez. Think. So I would like to try and do something similar to. Here, let me see if I can just briefly show you real quick. Let's add an image. Make it our solid color, or our solid sprite again. Alright. Then we're going to have this one traverse the bottom. 0, height of 5. Oh, I'm sorry, position of 0, height of 5. Alright. And then we're just going to go ahead and change this to be like red. So I'd like to do something like this. So it's similar to Unity's color input field, as you can see over here. So that way we can see color and alpha. But I guess I don't really need alpha. I mean, it would essentially. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. The main reason that I'm kind of worried about it now is that I probably need to have a border for this field, which would be a white border. And then if I did alpha as a white bar, like Unity does, it wouldn't really work. But I guess it could be fine if I just did... oh, hold on. Let me get rid of the color tint. We're going to make this red by default. Oh, except, actually, you know what? I bet we could do this. So let's go ahead and duplicate this image. We're going to call this alpha. We'll call this one just color, I guess. Single it out. We'll have it stretch the entire way. So, oops. Oh, and I lied. I guess we would do 5, 5, 5, and 5. Let's make this one red. Okay. And then we're going to have the offset for that. Let's make our button color gray. Oh yeah, and then let's have our alpha have a 5 by 5 also. All right, I think that would work. I would probably want to increase our size to like 75. Oh, right, and I guess our button isn't... Oh, no, that should be fine then. 50 should be... Yeah, that's fine. So let's test this layout out. Layout out. Ugh. That's a weird phrase. We're going to stretch it out. It's going to be from 0.6 to 0.75. Yeah, that seems fine. So we have a gray border around it, but that means that we can still use our solid red, or our solid color for the color itself, and then a white line for the alpha. Let's come up here. I think we can make our height 10. So it's weird. Five looks too small now. So I feel like 8 is better. Yeah, there we go. 10 was too large, which is unfortunate. I hate doing increments between 5 and 10. I hate doing like weird ones like 8. But that seems to be the best one. So, all right. So that works out pretty well. So let's go ahead and we'll rename this to start node color button. That is very specific, but I guess it needs to be. We're going to call this start node color. All right. And I guess I should probably make that green by default. Although, do I have my, get rid of this, actually let's just revert it. Collapse this, custom game map. I'm pretty sure I have, do I not have a custom start node? That means that I just change its color by default, don't I? Lovely, 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 lovely. All right. Let me check something real quick. Let's see. Custom room. Do I have a start node? I can't really remember. All right. I'm going to go ahead and collapse these. Turn you off. I'm going to turn off our UI. I need to look at some stuff in the actual menu to see what's going on. Skip through this. Start. Extras. Author mode. Create. Zork. All right. So let's go over to the map. I don't remember how we indicate something is the starting room. Huh. Okay, hold on. Let's quit out. Game settings? No. Oh, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have a starting room setting right now. It might just be whatever room you start with. So I don't have a way to actually. Oh crap! Hold on. Ah, really? Hold on. Is my map view not closed right now? Classic create. Where is custom game map? Interesting. Okay, that's really odd. I wonder why I'm doing that. Maybe it's so I don't have to generate them again? I guess that makes sense in a weird way. In any case, I can come up here and at the very least I can close this out. The main thing I wanted to do was just see what the starting room color here was by default. Yes, I know. We're working our way down. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. Seriously. There. Jeez. Way too much effort. Okay. So we want... Yes, I believe we want this to... We want this color. Alright. Let's go ahead and stop. Oh, right. We were doing UI work. No code. Well, this is going to take like 5 minutes for it to stop, so we can start coding. Hello! Is that Zieso? Yes, it does. So if I stop talking, and I'll show you right now. But if I stop talking, it should stop talking as well. Although it's not as responsive as it used to be. I remade this. It used to be done in Flash, and I remade it in Unity. And Unity requires a minimum of 1 second of audio for it to detect anything. So it'll start a little bit after I talk and stop a little bit after I stop talking, which is annoying. But Yes, it does only do that stuff when I talk. In any case, let's go ahead and do public. Oh, I guess I can't really do much yet. I gotta do a couple of things. I gotta say using Unity Engine dot UI using TM Pro. By the way, welcome, Yeso. Which I hope I'm saying that right. If not, don't get too mad. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. So, in any case, we're going to say using sleepyowl. Actually, I guess I don't really need sleepyowl. Yeah, I probably do need sleepyowl.common. We're going to rename this to sleepyowl.textquest. Out of curiosity, how do you say your name? I always try. At the very least, I try to properly say everyone's name. So I like to at least try. In any case, we're currently setting up a tool set for custom content so players can make their own games, basically. So let's see. So Zyso, okay. Okay. Yeah, X is always a hard one because I'm never sure how it should be pronounced, if it should be pronounced as X or if it should be pronounced like Z. So it's always tricky. In any case, so we're going to say public, let's see, button. Let's see, what ones did we have? We have start node color button, public button. Yeah, it's not something you see a lot in Western names. It's very rare outside of like ending characters like Max. Although technically I guess Max is Maxwell or Maximilian, but it's a very rare character. And node color button public. Let's see. Default connection. Oh, gotta specify button. Button default. Can't spell connection. Default connection color button. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome back. I'm doing well. I'm trying to get back into the custom game stuff because we haven't touched that in a month because of all the convention stuff I've been getting ready for. How are you today, by the way? Before I forget, I always like to ask, but I always forget. How long are you in programming and what language is this all in? So I have. Oh wait. Let me see it if I can do it. Nightbot. Although that might actually be the wrong thing. In that case, I think programming is actually what we want. I don't actually remember my own channel codes. So I've been programming for about 4 or 5 years now, a little bit before I started this game. And this is all written in C#. It's being done in Unity, so your choices are basically JavaScript, C# or Boo, which was Unity's weird custom language, but we don't really use that anymore. So button default node color button, I guess. And oh yeah, public button default, or not default, just map background button. Okay, I think that's all the controls we need right now. So let's see. Yeah, it's mostly in C#. There are some, I guess, weird occasional calls that I have to do to external APIs, but those aren't really being used for anything right now. Those are just me tinkering with potential things for me to try. Doing fine. Just got done with 2 weeks of band. That's a lot of band. Is that a summer band thing? Let's go ahead and say private void on start node color clicked. Private void on end node color clicked. I'm just going to shorten these. I know that they're about color. These function names are kind of arbitrary, so let's go ahead and say private void on default connection clicked. Private void on default finally private void on map background. Click. All right. Then we can do void awake. Thank you for whoever subscribed. I still need to get that visualization stuff working. So I apologize that I can't thank you specifically, but whoever you were. All right. So we have our listeners set up. Now we actually have to tell the buttons to, or the functions to listen to the buttons. So we're going to say start node button. Oops, I did not have a capital B there. Name that capital B. Dot on click. Dot add listener. On node color. Oh, right, on start node. Clicked. That's what it was. It's Bandcamp. We get a week off, and 3 days to a week. Night practices and Saturday competitions. November. That's a lot of band. What instrument do you play? I used to play alto sax. Kind of miss those days. Let's see. So then we're going to say end node color button. On end node clicked. Let's see, what were our other ones? Default connection color button. On default connection clicked. Default node color button. Just gonna copy paste these. It'll be a little faster. Map background button. All right. And for those of you who have programmed with Unity, what I'm doing here is manually assigning, well, I guess not, yeah, manually assigning the events fired by Unity's button class in code. Because even though you can assign these things in the inspector for the buttons, it causes havoc when you have to debug stuff because it doesn't quite work the same. Like you can't get a full stack trace. So it's very important, at least from my side, from my point of view, to assign all of your button stuff through code, just because it makes it easier to debug if you need to do that. In any case, so with all that fun stuff set up, let's go ahead and come back here so that I can resume doing my actual layouts. All right, and now we should see a bunch of stuff come in here. Oh, I lied. Apparently I'm forgetting something. Okay, weird. I guess it just didn't want to save. Played trumpet for about 5 or 6 years now. All right. I had a couple of friends who played trumpet when I was in band. I did not understand how brass worked. Woodwind made a lot more sense to me. Or at least saxophone did, which is the brassiest woodwind there is. All right. Oh, and you know what probably would be good is if I made this a game view. I kind of need access to all of those functionalities. So we're going to set up basically similar rows for our start node color. I probably should have it. We'll see what it looks like. Hold on. Once it compiles, we'll get a bunch of new stuff over here, so we can start dragging things in. Oh, and I guess our order, it's important that I'm above the map. So order 3, 5, I think 3 will be fine. All right, so let's go to our content grid, start node color. Start node color button. Should I do 5 and 5 from the top? That helps, and that makes me think I can actually bring this back down to 5. Yeah, that's not bad. All right, I like that. So let's go ahead and we're going to duplicate this. So this is going to be our end node color. Fine. I'll type the whole thing. End node color. Let's see. We also have 5, correct? Yes. So default connection color, default node color, and map background button. All right. So let's duplicate. Oh, and I guess I should probably single them all out. All right, so this one, oh, actually, you know what? That's interesting. Oh, I guess they don't have the same name. So we'll go ahead and say just space color. That way we can come back in and individually name these. So we're going to have default node color. Default connection color. And then finally map background color. Cool. Sorry. I looked away. Did you do marching band? I did do marching band when I was in high school. I didn't do it in college because in college marching band is serious business, and I didn't have the patience for it. Well, not necessarily the patience. I didn't have the desire to do it in college. Um, and then hello 4F3C5. That name is going to be quite difficult for me to say. I feel like it's supposed to be pronounced a specific way. Either way, welcome to the stream. Hopefully I will learn how to say your name. Hello, Apollo. Welcome back. We are currently working on options menus for custom games. So when you're making your own custom game and using the map system, you can change all the default colors and whatnot. That way, if you're colorblind, you can switch whatever start and end node colors are and all that stuff. So making it a little bit more accessible for people. All right, so now we got to start going through and doing all of our label stuff. So let's rename this to end node color. This is going to be our default node color. And I probably need to start naming these as well. End node color button. Default node color button. And all right, so there's going to be default connection color. Crap, it's too long. What band was I a part of? You will not have heard of it. It was a small school in the middle of nowhere. I was in Seeger marching band, which was just literally a. I'm not joking when I say our school was in the middle of cornfields. Like I always say that I grew up in the middle of cornfields, and that's only about half of a joke. But my school was literally in the middle of a cornfield. There were cornfields all around the school. I cannot stress how much I grew up in the boondocks. All right, so this is going to be default connection color button. Apex, okay. Yes. So, oh wait, hold on. Let me try it. Do I have a crap? I always forget my own commands, which I think whatever. So this is Text Quest. It's a first-person text-based adventure where everything in the world is made up of text. So so trees is the word tree, grass is the word grass repeating along the rounds, giant spider, say giant spider. And currently on Saturdays, what we like to do is I like to do a Devstream for custom game tools, so players can make their own text-based adventures, and that's what we're doing right now. So today's going to be a little bit light on the gameplay, admittedly, but you're going to see a lot of cool, weird background stuff about trying to get Unity to allow custom game stuff in a game that already exists using set mechanics. So it's just a lot of me banging my head on the keyboard and being like, I will make this work. School right next to ours is also in the middle of a cornfield. Well, then you know what it can be like. Well, I guess you don't attend that school, so you don't know what it's like. But it's kind of, not great being in the middle of the cornfields. In any case, so let's go ahead and set these up. So map background, color button. All right. So let's start actually adjusting these color values. So we're going to have color for, oh, you know what I totally forgot to do is this, which I bet I can't paste anymore. Yeah, because I already hit copy. Dang it. All right. I'll just make this generic green for now. Something like that should be fine. Let's come down here to default node color. By default, node color backgrounds are black. This is the reason that I needed to have that border, because I knew I was going to have at least one color that was going to be black by default. Are you a programmer, Apex? Or I guess a developer, in any sense of the word? Um, it's always fun to watch other people make games. Hopefully I'm able to show you something that you haven't seen already, but no promises on that. I can't guarantee that. Default connection color is going to be solid white, and start node color. Oh wait, no, that's not named properly yet. Map background color. I knew I forgot something. Map background. I guess I don't need to specify colors. I think people will get that from the color field. So if I do default connections and all that, I think that'll actually work. Yeah, I like that. We'll find out if people like that or not. I guess I can ask people right now because I have people watching. Do you think that makes sense? If you see this sort of layout, would you assume that these colors or that these parameters are all for colors? I guess it's terrible asking you now because you all know what I'm doing and that kind of taints it, but I think that makes sense. I think that that's fine usability. It's not anything too complex. Yes, game developer hobby, but I currently am working on tools, interface, and some data object hacks. Oh, fancy. I don't know how much you paid attention in bands, but a year to Paoli. No, my band really was not a competitive band. We did not do. We were structured, but we didn't do competitions or anything like that. So it was nothing serious. We never really went anywhere. It was mostly just sort of a regional, do the whole marching band thing in parades, and occasionally go to. I think once a year there was a college thing where all of the bands. I don't know if it was all the bands in the state. It might have just been in the sort of tri-county area or something that went to a college and watched a football game and played with the band and whatnot. That was kind of cool. In any case, so default background color for this is like a 50% gray, I think. And yes, so Apex, if you're doing Unity tools, then some of this stuff might interest you actually. Although I guess I haven't really done tools development on the Devstream. I tend to do a lot of tools development at my actual job for Unity stuff. Like right now, I'm working on a particle system manager, just to make it possible to select from prefabs from particle prefabs using a integer-based drop-down system, which makes it a lot easier to do stuff like that. But I don't really do that too much for TextQuest. Sometimes I do, but it's less of a thing really here. So okay, that's all of the fields I think. Let's go ahead and assign everything. So we're gonna have our start node color button, end node color button, default color button. Oh, right. Oops, I forgot. I'm gonna put these in the correct order. All the node stuff should be together. So those are gonna flip real quick, and then map background. Oh, wrong thing. There we go. Map background. Ah, it's compiling. One of these days it will finish. There we go. So let's go ahead and say default connection color button and then default node color button. There we go. So that should all work. Now, now that the visual part of it is set up, comes the more challenging part, which is actually getting this to hook into settings. And that actually brings up the bigger issue of how do I want to handle settings. So, what I could do is I could have a settings file per, well, no. So I could have a general, just a single settings file for all of your custom games. That would just be, every custom game would share this custom file, similar to how I have a settings file for the base game. Let me go ahead and find that real quick. So let's go to Unity, TextQuest, build, TextQuest, settings. So I have a single text file that's just JSON and has all of your settings in it. I could do something similar to that for custom games, where it's just a single text file, and then all of your custom games will share that. Or I could embed this into the actual save file itself. That seems kind of unnecessary. So yeah, I think a single file approach is going to be fine. Um, how long? How long have I been working with Unity? I've been working with Unity for about 5 years ish. Um, Technically, I've had experience with Unity before that 5 year mark, but it's oh man, no, actually, it might be closer to no, it's 5 or 6 years now, I guess. Yeah. I mean, technically, I do have a little bit. I did experience Unity before that, but I didn't really do anything with it. I just knew of its existence and kind of poked it. Um, but let's see, is all this correct? Yeah. So about 5 years, I would say. Um, and in that time, I've gotten way better at it than I used to be. I am now comfortable with things like serialized objects and using those for custom inspectors, which is so much fun. It's like I feel like a mad scientist whenever I'm doing really ridiculous editor stuff. In any case, I probably give me a second. I think I might put hints here. So to show you what I mean, let me go ahead and grab these things. Do I want to make these a button? I guess I would have to. So we're going to make this an event button. It's not going to have any sort of transition. It's not going to have navigation. Oh crap, I need to do that for all of these nodes too, don't I? I hate the stupid navigation stuff. So the idea here is that I created a class that's basically a wrapper for Unity's base button functionality. And it just has some extra events like on hover, on exit, and all that stuff. So I'm going to use that and have it be on top of this entire object so that when you hover over the options row here, you'll get a little bit of a hint text. So that's going to bump up some of my stuff, which is not super great. Okay. Let's go ahead and say, custom game options view. Something, actually, I might make a script here real quick. So we might do a little bit of editor scripting right now. Assuming I don't already have one. Public, do I have like a hint? Okay, I don't. Do I have a hover? Button hover or something? Nope. Okay, good. So I'm going to go ahead and make a class. Well, yeah, no, it'll be fine. This will be a fun little side thing to do. So I'm going to make a custom class that will basically let me match a button reference with a string reference for the hint for that button when it's hovered. That way I can have a list of them instead of having just massive separate, or well, not massive, but individual fields for a bunch of extra buttons that I don't really need. I can just have a single array of them. So I'm actually going to come up here, and that's going to go into my common stuff, I think. So I'm going to go sleepy soft common, UGUI, components, buttons, event button. You want to do, yeah, I guess I'll do that. So we'll call it hints, or maybe hover text. Yeah, I mean, I've been working with Unity basically since I think it was free for indie developers to use, or I guess within a year of that. So we're going to go ahead and say, what do I want to call this? Event button hint, I guess? Or maybe hover text? Hint seems fine. Alright. So this is going to be a class that is basically just used as a convenience class for me. And when it compiles, I'll actually be able to make the custom inspector for it, should it choose to let me. Alright, let's go ahead and go to create, C# script, event button, oops, capital B. button hint drawer. All right, reload all. All right, so event button hint is, I can probably just make it a struct. It's going to be a struct. It is going to be system.serializable, and it's just going to have public event button public string, and I guess I'll just say hint. Yeah, I probably should have called it event button hover text. It's fine. Oh, and it's a struct, so I can't declare initialized variables. So you said you're a hobbyist developer, FX. What do you like to mess around with? Well, I guess you said tooling development. Are you doing anything specific, or are you just kind of messing with Unity itself? So let's see here. I'm going to do tooltips. Well, do I need to do tooltips? I'll do tooltips anyway. Never hurts to do tooltips. So we're going to say tooltip, the button that will be hovered to show hint text. Tooltip, the text to show when the associated button is hovered. All right. And I think that's pretty much all I really need to do here. All right, so let's go ahead, save that out, that's fine. And then we're going to create our drawer. Now, for those of you who haven't had to mess with property drawers before, they're like custom inspectors, but for a specific object or a specific class. Well, that's what editors are for. They're like custom editors, but for weird serialized classes, or potentially also just making a field that already exists do something that's not its standard behavior. So in this case, I'm creating a custom property drawer. So custom property drawer type of event button hint for the event button hint class. That's just going to draw them in a weird way that's not the normal just two fields that it would usually be. And actually, to show you what I mean, I'm going to go ahead and just come over here to game options view, public, and we're going to say event button hint, make that an array. We'll just call them hints. And because I like to initialize my arrays. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in the inspector, and then I'll show you what it looks like once we get our custom property stuff done. And of course, for those of you who haven't really used structs before, when you make a struct, which mine's off screen now, event button hint, there we go. It's not serialized, so you have to specify that it needs to be serializable, otherwise we couldn't see any of this. So if I open this up and I make a new one, you can see that it's sort of the default element 0, and then when we unfold that, we'll get our hints and our tooltips and whatnot. But we're going to change this so it's a little bit nicer, I guess. We don't really need this element 0 fold out, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm not going to have a label for the button, so it's going to stretch the entire width of this, and the hint is actually going to be above a text field. So it's going to be kind of a bit of a redraw, basically. I'll create a screenshot where you can see everything I could tell a lot about, but I don't want to spam your chat with my stuff. All right. So what we want to do here is we're going to say override on GUI. On GUI is the function that actually draws everything. And before we even do that, we're going to say override and then get height, or get property height. And for that, we're going to need, I think, it's going to be a little tricky. Times 4? So by default, this get property height function is going to give you a single line height. So what the regular height of a single line in Unity's inspector is. So by multiplying it by 4, that gives me, I'm actually probably going to need to multiply it by 5. That means that I'm expecting something that's going to be roughly 5 fields of height. So let's go ahead and we're going to say position dot height is equal to editor GUI utility dot single line height, and then we're going to say how do I want to say this? Editor GUI dot property field property, then property dot find property relative, and I almost forgot, I need to specify position. So position, there we go. And we're going to follow that up with GUI content dot none. There we go. And we're going to make this say button. All right. So right now, if I come back here, and I uncomment out this line, we'll be able to see a single field that doesn't have a label. So this will all go away, and everything will kind of shift over to the left here, and we'll only have one button. Then we'll have we should have a lot of gray space after that, I believe. Or not, because it doesn't want to do that. Interesting. I think that error is pointing to my button. Or not. What's going on here? Why are you not working? It is an event button hint. Event button hint, and then when we come over here to options view, event button hint. Interesting. Did it not save? No, it did. Okay, well this is curious. Not entirely sure why my UI isn't working. And one says that I did something silly. Okay, so it is an event button hints array. That shouldn't matter. Oh wait, no. Does the array actually matter? I didn't think it did, but I will test that. Public event button hint. Let's see what happens here. Doesn't structs can totally have custom property drawers. Come on, I believe in you, Unity. You can do it. Shazam! There we go. Ah, okay. Super weird. I guess Unity's GUI system just didn't want to update, which I guess is not unusual. That sort of thing happens fairly regularly, where the inspector view just doesn't refresh. And then that causes problems because then I get nervous and I'm like, oh no, I'm terrible because I don't know how to code. It's like, no, it was just Unity. All right, so you can see that we have that large amount of gray space, and we're going to use that to create our hint. So once we do that, we're going to say position.y plus equals position.height. Then we will say editor GUI dot label field rect position. So we're going to say position again. Then new GUI content. It's going to be hint. Oh, and then for this, I am going to go ahead and just grab this text and put it in there for our tooltip. All right. And I guess that means that I don't actually need these tooltips. So, because they are kind of useless. And finally, we're going to just go ahead and say position.y plus equals position.height. Then position.y times, not dot y. And I said double equals here. Position.height times equals 3f. That should bring us back to our full height. And then we can finally say um, editor GUI dot text area, right? Yep, text area position, and oof, really, of course, fine, whatever. So we're gonna say property dot find property relative. I believe it's just called hint. And then we're going to need to say, oh, interesting, it doesn't have a label. Okay, so maybe I don't need to do that. And then we're just going to say dot string value, which means that I need to do this, which is kind of annoying, but I guess we'll live with it. All right, so now when this comes in, we should see our text field pop up, and it should take up this extra space. And while that's happening, I'm going to take a drink, because it's going to take forever. Okay. Well, we got halfway there. Do I need to specify a GUI style, I guess? Okay. Editor styles dot text area. I didn't think I needed to specify that, but I guess I will. Not entirely sure what happened here. I didn't think that my hint field would be visible. I didn't do anything silly, did I? No, position. Yeah, that's all right. Ah, 10 to 1 says that it's just doing that thing that freaks me out all the time. Oh, look at that. Well, that would be it. Oh, I said equals, didn't I? Duh. That would be why. Plus equals. It's very important that you keep good track of your x and y positions, and you always use plus or minus equals rather than actually manually setting it. Mostly because otherwise you get stuff like that, where our text field was way above us. Okay, so now I can say, excuse me. So now I can say this is a test hint. And we have 3 lines of text roughly to work with. I guess kind of 4. So now I can bump this up to 2, and you'll see that we have separators and stuff in the sense that our buttons are forming sort of separators. If I wanted to, I guess I could probably have a box around them to help separate them even further. So I think what I would do here is I would want to say custom editor. Hold on. Custom editor. I thought I had a editor utility. Editor utility. Ah. Okay. Oh, right. I know why. It's because I need to say using sleepyowl.common.editor. Right. So now we can say custom editor utility dot. I think I have a draw border direct right there. Because I've done this enough that I just have a shortcut for it. Draw border direct. We'll have its position. I think that'll be fine. So now all of this, I think it might end up squishing our controls a little bit. So it might be like really clean to them. But it should overall help separate things a little bit. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can post a link. Yeah, so it kind of squeezed things out a little bit. Oh, interesting. And then it went away for a little bit. What is going on here? Weird. Okay, there we go. So... Huh, really? Okay. I guess maybe I should say get indented rect? Hold on. What is it? It's editor utility dot get indented rect. No. Editor GUI. Indented rect, is that it? Yes, I think that's it. Yeah, this is a function I actually only learned about recently. If this is the one that I'm thinking of, it should actually properly give us a indented rect around our rect here. We'll find out. Yeah, indents like this always throw off projections. Yeah, look, haha, it worked. All right, so that means that once we do that, I'm just going to go ahead and say position dot x, or not, dot x plus equals, we'll say 4f, and then position dot y plus equals 4x, 4f, I guess. Oh, yeah, that messes things up a lot, doesn't it? And then position dot width minus equals 8f, I believe, is what we'll want. But we'll have to do this up here. So position dot height plus equals 8f, so that we can subtract it down here. Okay. I think that will make everything look a little bit better. Oh, nice. You're doing like a four-way projection for menu or for the scene view. That's pretty cool. Oh, and do you have you have a coding inspector so you can adjust code inside of Unity? That's pretty cool too. I keep getting scrolled to the bottom of the screen. All right. So that almost worked. Because now we have to deal with. Right. So that's almost correct. So actually, what I think I can do is I think I can just do this. Yeah, I know. I don't need the plus equals there. And then I can get rid of this here. I don't know why it keeps blinking in and out of existence like that. That's kind of weird. So what's the team inspector stuff for? I was noticing that in a couple of different areas. Oh, cool. GUI skin creator. That's actually kind of cool too. Huh. Yeah, that's a lot of cool stuff. Okay. Okay. There we go. Huh. Maybe it's the GUI system. Maybe Unity doesn't like having property drawers use that GUI rect stuff. So there we go. So now our hints and our button stuff is all surrounded by borders that apparently sometimes blink in and out of existence. So that's an interesting thing. I wonder if that's just the GUI system being different slightly than the editor GUI system. Either way, so now we can 100% guarantee that they're going to be not confused, or that I won't get confused later on. All right, so let's go ahead and start assigning things. So we need 5. So we're going to have a start node color. Oh, right, none of these have that. Let's go ahead and grab this. So copy component, base component is new. Down here, all right, so end node color, default node, background. This is so weird. I don't know what's going on with Unity. If it's selected, it seems fine, but then the moment it's not, it breaks. It's so weird. Yeah, and if I use my mouse wheel, it freaks out. Weird, 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 weird. So let's say change the color for start. I guess how do I phrase this? Change the color for the start node on the map. That might need to be revisited for end nodes, plural, because it could be possible to have multiple end nodes. Default node color. Change the color for node, I guess we'll call them room node backgrounds. No. For room nodes, so change the color background color. There we go. Probably should specify that in a couple of different places. So change the background color for the first, or for the start node on the map, for the end nodes on the map, for room nodes. Default connection color, change the color for, we'll say default color. Default color for connections. And we'll specify room connections, I suppose. And change the color for the, I guess it should be color of the map background. All right, and not changed, but change. Okay, I think we're good to go. Finally. Do I still get hints? I do. Haha. So that just made it a little bit easier to have a hints array rather than having 5 extra fields plus 5 more fields for their hints. So this will actually help, I think, a lot across my menus. That was a nice little thing to do then. Nice little side project. Thank you, whoever subscribed. I really need to get that functioning so that I can see who did it. Let's see. I only have problems with the GUI clip.push and pop method. I don't know if I've used the GUI clip stuff. I do know that some of Unity's editor controls can be really weird. Like making vertical sliders in the inspector is a really odd thing. They have a call for it, but it's awkward. And yeah, internal. That's a whole other thing. I hate internal classes in Unity because they're there, but they just don't tell you how to use them. They're there. You can do it. You can use them. They just don't tell you how. Drives me nuts. All right. So all of that is working. And before we are actually done here, so I'm actually kind of glad that we ended up doing this. So my grid is going to be 50 offset from the bottom, maybe. So I'm going to add a new Text Mesh Pro label at the bottom here, like that. Zeroed out. We got to change our font, bit font. That's good. We'll have 10 from the no, 15, 20. 20 from the left, 20 from the right. We'll have it be aligned to the bottom there. And this is just going to be sort of like our hint text. We'll go ahead and get rid of it for now. We'll bump this down to 32 font size. And actually, I'm going to say hint text. Is that being done outside of it? It is. Let's change our height to 75. Yes, I think that's right. Why am I so... Oh, I was going to say, why am I so high up, though? So we can probably get away with 65, I think. All right. So we're going to make our grid be 65 offset from the bottom, just so we don't get any overlap there. All right. So that should be good. We'll call this hint label. Capital L. I don't want to be savage. Let's get rid of that. All right. And I had to use 50 internal classes of Unity for... yeah. Yeah, I think I've done some internal scripting, but I don't remember what for. It might have actually been for some of the vertical... No. It was... I think I had to do some system reflection stuff, but I don't remember what it was specifically. I do know that I've had to do some insane editor functionality with serialization. And that was a treat, let me tell you. Basically allowing I think one of the things that I had to do was I needed to allow a single prefab to be used in a bunch of different cases with a bunch of different settings, but not on each object. So each object would have a reference to the same prefab as a bunch of other objects, but they would all have settings that they would need to set on it to be independent from one another, but I had no way of knowing which prefab it was actually going to use, so I couldn't just have a bunch of fields on the objects themselves that were requesting that prefab to change it. They had to arbitrarily know what they needed to change. It was nuts. It was so cool. And I needed to allow them to be reset in the inspector, which was super awesome. It was a lot of fun getting it to work, and it actually works pretty well. In any case, so now we can add a reference to the hint field. So we're done with the hint stuff. Although actually, because I'm obsessive about this stuff, I do need to get rid of some. I guess not this one, but I do it on the event button hint. I don't like having classes that aren't necessary, or the using stuff. I like to get rid of that if I can. All right, so we're gonna have a public text mesh pro UGUI hint label. All right, and then we're gonna have a bunch of different stuff. So we're gonna say private void on hint button hover string hint. All right, and then private void on hint button hover exit. All right, so what we're going to do here is a fun little for loop, and we're going to say for hint I is equal to 0, I is less than hints dot length I plus plus, and then we're going to say hints dot on hints I dot button dot on click dot add listener, and then we're going to have a delegate, and that delegate is going to call on hint button hover, and it's going to pass the hints I dot hint. All right, simple as that. And then we will also need to say, oh, and it's not on click, I'm sorry. It's on hover enter. There we go. And then we need to do a similar thing for on hover exit. On hover exit, just instead of a delegate, it's just going to straight up call on hint button hover exit. Simple as that. All right, so this is going to say hint label dot text is equal to nothing, and then the other one is going to say hint label dot text is equal to hint. Not hint label, just hint. All right, so that should all work in theory, and I think we can actually, if I turn off this delay, we can actually just test it right here because we still need to hook it up to the map system. Because the yellow outline will be done by the native system. Oh, yeah. You know that Unity isn't thread safe? Yeah, I know they're working on it. I created a system which allows me to manipulate all Unity objects based on Unity engine.object in every thread, and it's base C++ SDK for my plugin. Wow, that's pretty cool. Well, so I know that it's not that all of Unity isn't thread safe. It's only the main sort of blocks of code in Unity aren't thread safe. So you can do things like perform calculations off the threads and then pipe those back in, which is what a lot of people tend to do. It's largely things like the actual transform commands and all of that that are not thread safe. Man, that must have been a nightmare to get around, though, to make it actually work. In any case, so let's go ahead and... I almost forgot to assign my hint label. Okay, so we got all of our hints and all that. So I think if we go ahead and just hit play, we should be able to actually look at this, unless I didn't disable my delay object, which I did not apparently. Oh, which is great, because that means that I'm going to take forever to stop playing. But that means I can take a drink. Haha! God, I need to fix this bug. Except I don't even know what it is. It has to do with something with Unity. I should probably send this in as a bug report in the editor. I just don't know what causes it. I assume it has to be something with level loading and unloading. Because it takes an eternity. It's something like 20 seconds minimum, sometimes 30. So I can, come over to my code and do stuff, but I just can't do anything in Unity until it actually stops playing. There we go. Jeez. Okay, turn off that delay. Hit save. All right, so now I can do it. Now I can test this out without worrying about it. So now if we hover, crap, what's the index out of range exception problem? Oh, right. I always forget about this. So there's some oddities with how Unity handles its delegate system within loops. And I always forget about this. If you just use the base I or your iterator, what it does is it doesn't actually send these delegates until the end. So it'll iterate all the way through the list, and then it will try to assign whatever the I value was. So by declaring a separate variable inside the scope of the for loop, it forces that variable to basically be a unique thing that Unity won't mess with, and then we can actually pass that. And that should actually fix that problem we were seeing there. Really, I didn't realize that it. But I thought that there were some things that were. Well, no. I do know that all of the Unity functionality is not thread safe. So I guess piping things off to separate threads for calculations isn't technically Unity functionality. So yeah, I guess none of it is thread safe. But yeah. Yeah, that must have been crazy to try and work around. There we go. Although, okay, yeah, yay! Change the background color for ends nodes on the map. Change the background color for room nodes. Change the default color for room connections. Change the color for the map background. Maybe I shouldn't have it be aligned to the bottom. Maybe it should be aligned center. I guess we can check that right now. Align center. Maybe even align top. Yeah, that's better. The problem is that when it was aligned to the bottom, it was kind of hard to read ones that were single line. Excuse me. Because it was too close to the buttons down here. So there we go. Now we have our hover effects going on. Change the background color for the start node on the map. Change the background color for end nodes on the map. Change the background color for room nodes. Maybe I should say standard room nodes, just so that people don't get confused. But it's fine. It's fine for now. These are just testing functionality. Change the default color for room connections. Change the color for the map background. Okay, so all that works. Now we need to set up our functionality for what happens when you click on these buttons, and then what happens when we save and cancel. And then we'll be able to actually hook it up to our main map system. Okay, let's come up here to our custom options view. All right, so we're going to say UI.open modal color. I forget what I called it. Color picker view, or is that not a modal? I thought I made that a modal. Okay, good, it is. Color picker view. Okay, so do I need a message for this? I don't think I do. Let me see where else I'm calling this, because I always forget. Options view, room exit node. Here we are. So I do get modal, then open. Yeah, because I need to do all that fun stuff. Okay. Alrighty, alright. So we'll say get modal, and then dot open. So we want to pass in a color, and I think that's it, right? Yeah, it looks like color, and then a callback for when it's done. And that should be fine. So we're going to say So what was your idea to get around the main thread check? Uh, so what we need to do is we probably need to have. No. Hold on. Yeah. Dang it. I gotta change some stuff in our UI real quick. So I didn't think about this when I was talking about having the white bar be your alpha. Um, when Unity has an alpha channel exposed in its color, you'll notice that it's kind of like a fill bar. Okay, I guess I can't really show you right now. So if we were to grab this, you can see that it's going down, and it's basically white over a black bar. So when it's 100% opacity, or 100% alpha, it's solid white, and when it's 50%, it's half white, half black. So I need to actually change those to be sliders instead of. No, actually, I can get around that. Okay. So let's go ahead and put this back up. Instead, what I can do is I can have a alpha filled sprite that will be horizontal from the left, like that. So that doesn't actually solve my problem, does it? Crap. Well, actually, you know what? I guess it can sort of solve my problem. So I can still have this image here. I'm just going to need another image below it that's solid black. So that'll be fine. So I'm basically going to have the slider functionality, but I shouldn't have the extra overhead because I don't really need you to be able to manually drag it. I can just manually set its fill amount. So let's go ahead and let's duplicate this. Individual, all that stuff. 5, 5, 5. It's going to be solid black. And then we will have, this will be alpha background. And finally, we can actually just drag this in and have it scale and stretch the entire way. So there we go. So that will give us a more appropriate look. So 0.5. Yeah, there we go. That works. All right, so we're going to have to do something similar to that. Although that does mean we actually need to have individual references to these. Okay, let me think. So I can have a massive inspector, or I can have, well, let me think. I guess there's not really a good way around that, is there? All right, well, we'll just eat that then. So I'm gonna go ahead and come up here to our buttons. We're gonna have public image, start node, color image. So we're basically gonna just copy and paste this a bunch. Paste all this fun stuff. Image, and image. And then we're going to need to do the same thing for our alphas. Okay, so this will be alpha. Alpha image. Alpha image. Okay. So that's going to balloon our inspector size up quite a bit. I'm going to see how bad it is. If it's really bad, then I'll probably try to genericize it. Yeah, genericize. So we should see it pop in quite a few fields. It's so ugly. Okay. I almost feel like it would be better to have sort of like group association, similar to how I did the hints, where I just have, so start node, and then I would have a button that it's supposed to listen for, then an image for its background color, and then an image for its alpha. So that would make it 3 things high with no context, basically. Um, ay, 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 ay. Not super great. But it would kind of, I guess that, well, that wouldn't really save me anything, would it? I think that everything would take the exact amount of space. It would just be grouped up better. Um, it's fine for now. I'm going to focus more on getting the functionality to actually work, and then we can sit there and hear me complain about it for after that. All right. So we are going to have to start naming all these things to be more specific. So we're going to say start node color, start node alpha with a capital S. All right, looking good. Let's go ahead and duplicate some of this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this. Will that work? Yes, but I do need to single these all out again. So we're basically just going to be copying and pasting a couple of times. So paste, paste, and paste. Let's go ahead and get rid of the extra alpha classes. And let's go ahead and make sure that these are all correct. 5, 5, 5, and 5, and 1, 1, 1. All right. So now we can start renaming them. So end node alpha. All right. Well, thank you for stopping by, Scorpio. Hopefully it was somewhat interesting, doing all the editor scripting stuff. Yeah, take it easy. Have a good weekend. So we're going to call this one default node. Just default node alpha is fine. And then this is going to be default connection. Connection alpha. And finally, map background alpha. All right. So now we can drag all of these things in here. Start node alpha. Start node color. Ah, dang it. You know what I didn't do is name all of the actual color blocks. Boo. Well, I'll drag in the alphas then first. Alphas, alphas, and alphas. So all the alphas have been assigned, and now I can set up the colors. So end node nude color. Default node color. Default connection color. And finally, map background color. All right, so let's reassign all of that. So we have end node color. Get rid of that. Default node color. Default connection color. And map background color. All right. All that fun stuff was necessary so that I can actually assign colors. All right. So we're going to say we're going to need a delegate, aren't we? Okay. Yeah, okay. Hold on. Just thinking about this stuff out loud. So we're going to say open with start node color image dot color. So I think we want basically this or that. That would work too. extra stuff. Right, I don't need the message. So we need a color to start off with, and we need a callback, which is going to be a string and a color. Okay. How do I want to handle that? I don't think I want to have multiple. We'll say null for now. We'll come back to that. Title is going to be color, I guess. So color. Oh, actually, no. I guess it will be start node color. And then string options, which will just be cancel and confirm. All right. Confirm. And let me double check where I was using this. Do I do confirm? Yeah, I do. Okay, so it's yes, then no. Not no, then yes. Let's get rid of this stuff. Confirm and cancel. Okay. And one more thing. I do on color selected here. What is this for? This is for room exit node, so it's a very specific thing. Yeah, I guess that's true. Boo. Okay. Yeah. Actually, hold on. One more thing that I want to do here. That's interesting. Oh, it's a callback. Oh, that makes it so much easier. Right, that's why I did it as a callback. Okay, so I can make this a delegate. I was worried about event listeners not getting properly cleared, and I made it a callback. It's not an event listener. Duh. Oh, right. String, color. Oh, and I need to specify those, don't I? String message, I guess, is what I would call that. And then color. Just color is fine. All right. And we're going to call. Let's go ahead and come down here to private void on color selected. Okay, so that's going to call first up. Should I make it a string? Yeah, I probably should make it a string. All right, so string selection color, and then we're going to need an image, color image, alpha image. All right. So there's going to be selection on color selected, selection, color, then start node color image, start node alpha image. Okay, all of that massive line of code there, will let us pick a color and have it properly set things. So what we're going to do here is say if selection is equal to something, and I'm actually going to come up here. We're going to say private const string select yes, or what was the word I used? It's a C word. Confirm. Confirm is equal to confirm. And then private const string select confirm, or not confirm, cancel is equal to cancel. Also, it should be a string, not a strg. All right, so now I'm going to replace those real quick. Select cancel. All right. And now I can do this confirm check here. Makes things a lot easier on me. So if it is returned as a proper selection that's been confirmed, then we're going to say color image dot color is equal to color dot. I actually don't know if there's a convenient. I guess there's not. Interesting. They have a gamma color. That's interesting. That's fine. So I guess we can just say color for now. I know that's not going to be correct once we start doing alpha stuff, but I just want to test it for now. Alpha image dot color is equal to color. Oh no. Alpha image not color. We're going to say alpha image dot fill amount is equal to color dot a. Okay. I think that's good. So we're going to test it on the start node, and if it works, then it should be simple to duplicate it and get it working on all the other ones. But that actually should allow us to select our colors and hopefully have everything set properly. All right, let's go ahead and save, and then give it a try. All right, so that gave us, that's good. It opened up with the color that we expected. If we hit cancel, nothing happens. Let's shift this up to orange and hit confirm. Hooray! It worked. All right. Oh, that's interesting. So we don't actually get... Interesting. So we don't get the hint. I was hoping we would get the hint across this entire sort of horizontal spectrum, but it looks like it's only whenever we're in a graphics rect. So from here to here, because that's where our label rect is, and then we don't have anything here, and then from here, just in the box, we get the hint. But that's fine, I guess. It's not really the end of the world. All right, so let's get that set up for the rest of the colors. Oh, and actually, before I do that, yeah. See, that's I guess a problem right here. I don't have an alpha exposed on my color wheel or my color sliders. So, okay, it's not great. So we can't actually do anything with the alpha right now as a test case. That's unfortunate. Cancel here, but we can at least get all the colors rigged up. So, hello, Cool. How are you today? Besides the apparent yarg that's going on. But I feel you. I understand. I understand the pain of the yarg. Alright, so I'm going to copy this whole line. Ugh, I hate super wide lines of code. Paste this in here, paste this in here, paste this in here. Alright, so we're going to have a couple of things. This is going to be end node, color image. This is going to be end node, alpha image, then default node, default node. Let's see, what's the next one? Oh, right. I'm going to move these up so that they're in the correct order so I don't get confused again. Like that. So these are going to be default node. This is going to be default connection, color image, default node. Paste this in, alpha image. I'm determined to make it your catchphrase. Oh, yarg. Yeah, I'm both happy and angry. Yeah, I am sorry about not streaming on Thursday. I did tweet about it, to be fair, but I've started using the Twitch, what's it called, channel feed. So now I can send out updates, and you can see them right there on my Twitch channel that says if I'm not going to be doing a dev stream today. But my nephew was born, so I had to go pay tribute to my sister and interact with my family. It was important. So I didn't just cancel because I didn't have anything to do. In any case, but I am sorry about that. I was actually kind of disappointed that I had to cancel. Just because Tuesday's stream was such a nice stream, and I was hoping to continue that on Thursday, but oh well. So we want map background. Map background color. I guess there's map background image. Map background alpha image. All right, so all that stuff's fine. Okay, so we'll let that parse real quick, and then we'll try it out for all of the colors, and then and then we'll hook it up to the map screen, and then we'll actually make it do something. I love doing options menus. They're basically 15 steps to get anything to happen. Man. All right. So now we should be able to get all of the different buttons here to actually change their colors. Although we, again, don't have an alpha set up. Let's go ahead and I'm pretty sure that I don't have a hidden alpha thing here, do I? Let's go to global, oh, no, I'm sorry, UI. Modal container, modal color picker. Huh, I guess not. I thought that I had a alpha, but I guess I don't. Alright, well I probably should get that. Make that a thing. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and unpause. Oh, that's interesting. Apparently, whatever. So let's change that to orange. Okay, that works. Ooh. Ooh. Oh! Pff, duh. I forgot to change what my actual thing was on start. There we go. So we're going to make this end node color image, then default node color image, then default connection color image, and map background image color. Which I guess is also actually going to cause us problems with our start node. So that means I need to probably actually construct the color that I send out, but it's fine. Experience something I never hope to experience again. Have to rewrite all my networking code. Oh, that's brutal. Why'd you have to rewrite it? Alright, so let's try that out now. Change you to be orange, confirm. Make you yellow. Make you green. Make you blue. Make you... I don't know what that color is. Cyan. Okay. That one I think is technically cyan. Maybe aquamarine. I don't know. Actually, I guess this is closer to cyan. I think this is closer to aquamarine. In any case, so yep, all that works. That's good. We get our hint text. Okay. So... Okay, I think what we're going to do next is we're just going to go ahead and hook this up to our actual map view to allow it to actually function. Let's go ahead and subtract all this fun stuff. Minimize that. Minimize all of the... Oh, crud. That was not what I meant to minimize. But we will be able to select this. Let's see. Map view. Prefabs. We're going to go ahead and say create folder. I'm going to call this options. We're going to just drag this in, and then it should be fine. All right. So let's go ahead and delete this. I think I can go ahead and delete this one. Don't really need that. And turn off UI. Let's select it. We're going to add a new. Add this to the views. Now have 41 views, and let's go to our actual. Oh, before I forget, let's also turn on our delay object here. And then we're going to go to our custom game map view. On options clicked, we will say UI.open in custom game options view, and we'll pass in false so that it doesn't close every other view. And that, oh, you know what I don't have working yet in our custom game options view is I don't think I have save and close even being listened to right now. Yep, they're not a thing. Okay, let's go ahead and add those. Public button, um, save button, public button, cancel button. All right. I'm gonna peek this. Does close here hide my cursor? It does. Hooray! So I'm going to have to override that real quick. So we're going to say override close. We'll call base.close, and then we'll say UI dot show cursor. So I found a better, easier way to write current future code with a networking plugin for Unity called Photon. Yeah, were you just you were just using the built-in Unity? I think it's UNet. No, it's probably just called Unity Multiplayer now, isn't it? Or Unity Networking. Yeah, Photon has been around for a while. It's one of the, it might actually be the biggest sort of out of the box multiplayer solution. Although I don't know, I feel like it sometimes gets kind of awkward, but I just have an aversion to using other people's code. So, all right. So we're gonna come down here. We're actually gonna come up here and say private void on save clicked. Void on cancel clicked. And we're also going to go ahead and say override open. And right now, is open, this isn't going to do anything, but it will in the future. So we're going to say to do load colors. So right now we're just going to see if we can, open and close the menu and make it look right. But in the future, when we call open, it's going to have to load all of those colors from the settings. I was going to say class, then script, and none of that was correct. The settings text file, parse those in, and I guess that's going to just be part of that, isn't that? Dang it. Okay. Custom game author session. Yeah, okay. So custom game author session is probably going to have some sort of reference to all of those codes, just because I don't want to load that stuff in and parse it from text files every time I open the menu. It should probably only happen once, probably when the game is loaded, and then it'll be easy to save it and load it from there. Yeah, it certainly seemed like it based off the reviews and better research on it. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I mean, it's big enough. It's big enough in Unity. They get enough money that they bought a competing service called Bolt, I believe. BOLT, and they just made that part of their multiplayer suite. So now there's like Bolt powered by Photon, or is it Photon powered by Bolt? One of the two. I don't know why they have that, because they're technically right now still two separate things, but they do similar things. They're both multiplayer netcode. So I don't know why. I don't know why they both exist independent of one another. You'd think that they would buy it and then integrate it. But, in any case, where is my? So I don't need custom game session right now. We can get rid of that. Don't need you. Don't need you, I don't think. Don't need the parser. And I don't think we need classic create view anymore. So these are the three things that I'm going to need. And for now, we'll just call close. Close. Okay. And do I need anything else? No. I probably should refresh. I guess actual object colors, not colors. I'm not sure how I want to do that right now. It's probably going to be some sort of code call to custom game map view, but it should be fine. You'd think that they would, wouldn't they? Yeah, I mean, and it could just be sort of like a legacy support thing, so that people who bought the original Bolt don't just get cut off, because that would suck, and that would probably be pretty bad PR for Photon. Um, okay, so I think we're actually in a good spot right now to test this out. Do we have final reference? Good, we do. Although actually, before we do that, let me go to custom map. Where are you, map view? Custom game map. I'm going to drag this in under the UI. Oh, okay. Get rid of you. Let's revert. Let's open this up. And all of my things broke. Because of course they did. So I'm going to drag in the custom game map again. Super weird. I'm going to change these buttons to highlight their backgrounds instead of their borders. So let's go up to the toolbar, buttons, play button, background. Oh, I don't actually want that, although I do want this color. I'm going to grab you. So background color is going to be white, and then we'll change everything here. It's going to be the background. That's our target graphic. That's interesting. It was marked dirty, but it didn't actually do anything. Okay, so change this to 0.2. I like my fade durations to be 0.2. Let's see. Our color for hovering is going to be just a little bit brighter than that. And for pressing, will probably be a little bit darker. A little bit like that. There we go. And disabled color will be same thing, but semi-transparent, I guess. Yeah, that seems fine. All right, so let's go ahead and grab these. 0.2. Drag in our background colors. Okay, and then we can change these three things. So our default color is going to be black. Our highlighted color will be, I guess, sort of like a middle gray. Our pressed color will be a dark gray. And disabled will be, I guess, just still black. All right. So I think that's pretty good. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and save that. Apply changes. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and just get rid of that UI. Cool. Just click through this stuff. Start, extras, author mode. We're going to go to create, Zork, map, options. Uh-oh. What the heck? Oh dear. Hold on. What is going on here? Neither save nor close work? That's interesting. Either way, I did override. No. Huh. Well, that's super awkward. Okay. I guess I'll put in a debug there. Debug.log test. I don't know why it wouldn't close, and I don't think there was an error. At least nothing popped up. Well, you say that it's relaxing. Well, I guess it's, yeah, watching people code is probably more relaxing. Although I do wish that I had less sort of downtime between compilation and actual coding, or I guess actual testing. Weird. It seems like it just didn't load what I had set up. I guess that's possible, but I don't know how. I actually wish that or I feel like I should have my avatar do more interesting things just so that it's more interesting to watch for non-coders, or people who aren't interested in what I'm doing at the moment, just so that there's at least something going on screen. Um, but that would also take a lot of effort. Or rather, it would be a lot of effort for no real practical gain beyond having a fairly decent. Oh, jeez. It's super hard to do poses though with like there the crossed arms pose took forever to get it to look even partially right. Right now, I'm still not completely satisfied with it, but it's like it's the best I could do. It's it's so hard to get pixel art to look right, especially because I hate doing the lazy form of pixel art, which is where you just rotate them, because then you get a lot of weird aliasing along the edges. So I actually like to have custom, very crisp um, pixel lines that are all just straight vertical and horizontal pixels instead of rotated ones. It just drives me nuts trying to get it to look right. Oh, that's interesting. You're not doing anything. What the heck is going on? Oh, I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. I didn't assign it. I hate it when I do that. Okay. So save button dot on click dot add listener on save clicked. Cancel button. I can't spell cancel apparently. Cancel button dot on click add listener on cancel clicked. Doing good. And I think that will actually work. I probably need to make sure that I have those assigned properly. I don't even know if I did that. Nope, I did not. Well, so I gotta do that. Man, that inspector just ballooned. I really need to find a better way to do the all the button stuff here, because this is just way too nasty. I hate having large inspectors like this. All right, let's enable you. Come back up here, place this. Come here to buttons. All right, so we have save button and the cancel button. Now we can hit apply, delete, and now that should work. I feel a fool. Um, yeah, I try, but sometimes I just mess up. Yeah, that's I hate it when I do that, when I just completely forget to assign my own listeners. Okay, extras, create, Zork, options, cancel. There we go. So all that stuff works now. Okay. So now that we have that set up, let's see. It's been about 2.5 hours. Should I continue? I probably should. I should probably see this through at least. Um, so I'm actually kind of curious why these guys aren't highlighting like I would expect. So I'm going to find out. UI, view container, map, root, toolbar, buttons, new room button. It should be highlighting. Is it not grabbing the right one? I'm going to keep this or turn off maximize on play. Weird. They're just not highlighting. What's different? I mean, the play button is definitely doing something. You can see it hovering. But these guys don't. Huh. And I mean, they're definitely pointing at the right one, or at least the new room button one is, and it's not highlighting. Weird. Okay. Well, either way, I can delete this one. Oh, right, except it doesn't delete those. Ah, custom tools. I love it. All right, so the next thing I think we're going to need to do is set up um, an actual file format for these, so we can save them out to a settings file, and then that's going to have to be read in by our custom game session, or our custom game author session. So let's go ahead and come up here to custom game author session. Let's see here. Oh look, I already sort of have those fields. That's kind of nice. So let's see, where is this being used? It is not being used at all. I'm guessing I was just starting to think about it. Yep, okay. 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 So we have default, start and end room colors. Then we're going to need public color default connection color is equal to color.white. Let's move our default node color down below the other two. And then finally we're going to have public color default map. We'll not call it default color, just map color is equal to I guess color.gray. That should be fine. I think right now, so I'm going to enable my UI and grab my custom game map again. After it compiles, of course. Because we are all slaves to the mighty compiler. I think I have a texture on the background. It's not just a solid color. Actually, it might be a solid color. I know that I've created similar systems in the past, like the whole click and drag, a giant map area. And usually I'll have a texture in the background just so that it's easier to tell that you're scrolling and moving around if there's nothing there. So let me grab map background border. No, I guess it is just a solid color for now. That's fine. So we'll just have that get set. So let's delete that. Turn off UI. Yeah. Yep. The mighty compiler. It determines our lives for us. Okay. So settings. Let me see how I'm loading game settings. Custom or game settings. Here we are. All this anti-aliasing stuff. Excuse me. Let's see. We have audio, all the fun stuff. Do I not have a path that needs to be loaded here? Ah, here we are. Load. Find all references, which should be called from, I guess, just start. Okay. Settings utility. Ah, here we are. Let's go to definition. I will probably have, let's go ahead and grab this, and we're going to duplicate this, and it's going to be custom game settings file name. So instead of text quest settings, we'll call it, I guess, text quest custom game settings. That seems fine. All right. So once we do that, we're going to need to make a settings file, which is going to be basically the same thing. So we're going to say custom settings save file path. Go ahead and say custom. You know what? Why don't I just do an actual summary? Custom game settings file path. Settings file, or Geiler, I guess. Apparently I spell file Geiler. File path. All right. Oh yeah, now I can hover over that and get some hints. Let's see. It's settings directory path. That's just making sure that our directory exists. And then we're going to need to say custom game settings file name. Okay. All right, all right, all right. And let me find all references here. Where do we write that? I think we write that and save. Yep. Okay. Should I just load it here? Yeah. Well, I don't actually know. I kind of almost think that I should have a custom game settings class, because this might all spiral out into something crazy, so it probably wouldn't hurt, because this is a static class, I believe. Scroll all the way up here. It is not. It is oh, right. I made it a mono behavior so I could do stuff like that. I needed a reference to the mixer stuff. I think I could make the custom game settings a static class, though. At least for now. So let's go ahead and come down here. I guess it's going to go to data. And of course I have to wait for the compiler to go. I don't know. It's never a good idea to follow a black hole. I feel like that'll take you to some pretty terrible places. Let's see. Data. I'll do settings. Folder. Settings. And then, so I'm going to call it just custom game settings. Yeah, that seems fine. Yeah, custom game settings. We can reload this. So we'll basically just load everything into memory instead of having it be on an object. So we'll call static class custom game settings. It's going to be under text quest. All right. So we're going to have public static load. Oh, right. I probably should specify void load public static void save. All right. So no, this doesn't really. Let me think. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So I'm going to break out the functionality. So originally this was all going to be contained inside of custom game author session, but instead it's now going to be contained in custom game settings. We're going to come up here. We're going to do static. Okay. All that fun stuff. And then we're going to have to specify some JSON stuff. Let's go to game settings. We're going to come down here to load. I'm basically going to just steal all of this. All right. Oh, and I need to say using sleepyowl.common. Okay. So file manager file exists. Custom game settings save file path. All right. JSON raw is equal to read file. Right. I don't know why I have that there. I feel like I could. I'm guessing it was for debugging purposes. I don't really need to store that string in memory. All right. So right now it's just going to be those colors, I guess, which means that so we're going to say start node color is equal to info dot get string value. And we'll give it a default value ID. We'll say dot to color. Okay. I think I need to have a settings utility, don't I can probably put it all in the same class for now. So I'm just going to have my constants in this class. So I'll say private const string start node color is equal to start dash node dash color. And then we're going to paste this 5 times, or I guess 4 times. So end node color, default node color, default connection color, and then map color. Map. Alright, so connection color, default node color, and end node color. Got my yawning constantly now since you yawn. Yeah, sorry. We're doing kind of a fairly mundane thing right now, doing all the settings, and it doesn't help that I'm actually getting kind of hungry. I have, oh God, I haven't eaten today. Well, that's not specifically true. I did have some amount of food. Basically, just had a glass of chocolate milk and a meat stick. So I probably need to eat soon. But let's get this all working before I do that. So we're going to say start node. Oh, no. Come on. Start underscore node color. There we go. And the default is going to be color.green, I guess. Color.green. Green dot toString. Okay. So we do have to specify defaults because if we're not careful, it will. Well, I mean, nothing will exist. Basically, they'll all be solid black, and we don't want that. So we want red to be the next one, black to be the next one, white, then gray. All right, let's start pasting these things in. And now we need to set our default. Then this is for connection color, and then we'll end with map color. Map color. Ta-da! All right, and to save, we are basically going to do the same thing that this calls. JSON object, JSON is equal to new JSON object, and then we're going to add everything, and this is going to be custom game, or custom settings file. Wait, is that right? Yeah, I guess it is. All right. Chocolate milk. Yeah. No, a friend of mine recently showed me Fairview or something like that. It's just like a extra processed milk thing that has less sugar in it, but doesn't taste terrible. And they have a chocolate version that's pretty good. So that was my breakfast today, a glass of chocolate milk. Let's see here. So now we need to actually populate all of our JSON stuff. So we're going to say json.add start node color, start node color dot toString. Okay. Let's go ahead and again we're gonna paste this in. Okay, so end node color, default, default, then connection color, and map color. So map color, connection color, default, default node color, and then end node color. All right. So what we should do is on custom game author session. Should I do it on load? Hold on. I know I have a load function down here. From JSON to JSON. Save custom game. Might be under custom game author session instead. I should have a single call here that loads, like, that's called once. Just because I don't want to parse it every time. From JSON, load background images. I guess I don't really have a good thing for this then. Direction, receive input, check input, names, add load background images from JSON. No, I just have the from JSON stuff. Is that good enough? Yes? Maybe? Okay. Well, before we do anything else, let's go ahead and find all references here. All right, so this is going to be, instead of start node color, it's going to be custom game settings dot start node color. Then custom game settings dot default node color. All right, so are you guys being used anywhere? Find all references. Find all references. Find all references. Okay, no, these are all not being used anywhere. All right. But that doesn't really solve my underlying problem now, does it? All right, I'll just do it on game settings. So on load here, I will call custom game settings dot load. And in our custom game options view, on save clicked, I'm going to call custom game settings dot save so that it saves everything, and then we should be fine. Although actually no, we're not 100% done. So now I need to actually load and set these colors as appropriate. So we're going to say all of this stuff again. Okay. Geez, this is going to take forever. All right. Let's go up here to open. So we're going to say start node color image, start node alpha image is equal to custom game settings dot start node color, then start node color dot alpha. Oh boy, so we're going to do this 5 times. Paste, 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 paste. All right. So now we have end node color, end node default, then connection. Did I call it default? I did, didn't I? Color image, map image. Oh, come on. Map background image is what it's called, isn't it? Yep. Map background alpha image. Oh boy. I hate doing the cut and paste stuff like multiple times. It drives me nuts. I wish I could find a better way to do this that didn't involve massive rescripting. So we're going to say end node color. End node color here. Then end node color. Default node color. Default node color. Let's see here. Then we're going to have connection color Map color. Oh boy, this will be so satisfying when we actually get it to work though. Okay. And then I think we'll be fine. So that's going to set all of those colors up when we load in. But now we need to actually refresh, by the way. And I think I can just do this. UI.get custom game map view. Do I have a refresh? I have a refresh map. Yes. And on refresh map, do I want to do a hard refresh? Probably not. But I might have to do a hard refresh. We'll see if I have to do a hard refresh or not. Although before I do that, now I have to set everything. So we're kind of going to do like the opposite of this. So we're just going to move everything in reverse. I have caps lock on. Or I have some kind of lock on. Or not. I don't know. My keyboard lights were on and that was weird to me. Alright. So yeah, we're basically just going to do all of this. Oh, and actually, you know what? Do I need to do that? Yeah, I probably do need to. I probably do need to have distinct alpha stuff here. Otherwise, it would be very easy to accidentally not save the alpha. Okay, so we're going to do all this fun stuff. I can't type. I hate doing this kind of like back and forth cut and paste method stuff, but I don't know. It's faster than, I guess, manually typing it. And this is why I always think I should have music on the Devstream, because of moments these exact moments where it's just dead air because I'm doing something incredibly repetitive. Okay, I think we're finally good. Okay. I think this will work. I think. And actually, well, yes. Yes, I think that's fine. So on cancel click does not actually need to do anything, which is fine. Alright, we should be good to test. Once this is hooked up, I think we'll call it a night. 3-hour dev streams kind of feel a little intense for me. Also, it's almost time for my cat to eat. She's pawing at me. Oh, and I can probably maximize on play now. Alright, so let's go ahead and say start. Extras, author mode, create. Zork. Let's go to the map. Oh my, that is super bright. Okay. Well, in any case, let's go to options. Let's make our default one blue. Confirm. Ha! There we go. All right, so that is... Actually, that should save it now. Although let's try... Oh, wrong thing. Close. Now let's go to options. Let's make this purple. Hit cancel. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Let's make it purple. Hit confirm, then hit cancel. Okay, good. Good. And now we have our custom game text settings. There we go. So it is saving out all of our stuff, which is good. And that means I can make this more of a green if I want. Make it a darker green like that. Hit confirm. Hit save. There we go. That's a little bit better. Make it a little bit darker. Like 100. There we go. Hit confirm. Save out. Oh, that's so nice that I don't have to do a hard refresh too. Although I do still need to fix this arrow issue. So, oh my gosh. I just... 3 hours! Probably actually closer to 2.5, just because the first half hour was petty bug fixes. But, oh man. So, we now have an options view with hint text and actual adjustable save state stuff. And it can save and load the colors as needed, and it will actually also... Oh, wait. We're not doing anything with the background connections, are we? And I don't think we're actually doing anything with default connections. So, not all of it's rigged up yet. Although, let's try making this weird. I don't know, purple. Okay. So yeah, this is a thing. It's a thing. That's the most I can say, I guess. Let's go ahead and make our background bluish again. Hit confirm and save, and then I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot because that is awesome. And now I can hold on. Confirm. Reset these guys to be all that, and then I'm going to get a screenshot of this. Cool. So that is, I think, a good place to stop for the night. We have an options menu now available inside the map area. It actually saves out, loads in data. So this can be shared across multiple different projects. So you only have to customize your options once, and then those will load in, and you can have the same ones on different custom games. And although we don't have the map background and connection colors working right now, that won't take too long to really do. So it'll be nice to actually get the stuff set up and make everything work. But I'm glad that we got it all done today for the most part. So yeah, that's a pretty good place to stop for the day, especially because I am hungry. So let me see. Any announcements? No, none that I can think of. We'll be back airing the Devstream on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Nothing should come up between now and then, so I should actually be able to stream without worries about canceling. But keep an eye on the. I love all of my viewers, Coolway. I love all of them. I can't choose favorites. But keep an eye on my, I guess, channel feed now. So that's a thing on Twitch, and I'm trying to do that. I'm slowly getting better, I think, at managing Twitch community stuff. So I'll announce. I try to announce an hour beforehand if I'm going to do a dev stream that day or not. So I will post that in the Twitch community feed or the channel feed or whatever it's called. So you'll be able to see every day. You just come to the channel a couple of minutes before the stream is supposed to start and see, is he streaming today? Yes or no. So you no longer have to go off to Twitter for that. I'm going to try to do that all here on Twitch. Twitter will still get those updates, obviously, but Twitch will now have them right on the channel page, so it'll be easier for you guys to see. All right. I think that's all I had announcement-wise. So, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.